Are you a DoorDash delivery driver? Would you like to be safer and less stressed while driving and earn more at the same time? The Driver's Utility Helper app allows you to do just that. Create custom filters and its automated system does the work for you, automatically declining unwanted low-paying requests and accepting more profitable requests so you can focus on driving. Visit acceptordecline.com to get started today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rideshare Rodeo Roundtable. Let's welcome everybody. First, we got Dash Theory TV, John. We got Kim's Side Money Plans. And we have Hannibal is Hungry. And Gary will be back next week. Gary's got some family stuff going down. But yeah, you guys, I see that Tommy called us fashionably late. I know that like for tomorrow, I put 5:05 or 7:05 Eastern time for the start time with the TNC radio show because we know we don't start till 3 minutes or 4 minutes after the hour. I thought I started doing that with this just to buy us a little time, but maybe I should make it like 7 or 9:01 p.m. so that right as Kim's alarm goes off, I just hit live. I won't even look, or if we're talking, I'll stop. But yeah, we were just basically talking about my son's haircut and his biking accident that's going to prevent him from working this summer. It's kind of a bummer, or at least a good portion of the summer. But hey, stuff happens, and at least it could have been a lot worse, I guess. But man, if you're a driver out there and you ever do something, kid or not kid or whatever, be a man and hang out until you and deal with it, dude. Don't leave.
It's horrible.
Don't leave. And if you do, to be honest, I don't mean to wish anything bad upon anybody, but I'm going to say this. Like, if you do, you deserve whatever happens, man. Because that's kind of what happened to my son. And I don't know. I think that kind of stuff is it's not rare anymore. Happens a lot. So, hey, what's
karma?
Up?
It's going to come back on that person some way.
Yeah. I mean, Hey, hi, Bordura. Hi, Roy. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Jill. Hi, Josh. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Rick. And hey, Tony. How are you? Hey, Gigan. How are you? I'm going to be talking about your state here in just a second. Man, you got to... Yeah. Woo. Hey, Ceci. How are you? Hey, Jason Thierry. What's up, my man? So you guys who listen to the audio podcast, cool kind of thing. I want to point out here because Jason's in here right now. I've never done this before. I don't think Jason's ever done this before, but I think he picked this up at the podcast movement last year. And this next week, Jason and I are going to do, not really sure if it has a term or whatever, but he's going to play my podcast, my audio podcast on his channel. I'm going to play his on my channel. And it's a way to introduce other people to other podcasts, kind of a different strategy or tactic.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I've never done it. I'm kind of looking forward to it. He says, nope, I am a virgin.
That can go in so many different directions. I'm not even going to touch it.
And I see Cheyana's here with us. And by the way, she's going to be our guest the second Thursday of June, the 8th. June 8th. She's going to be our guest here on the roundtable. So looking forward to that. Little Canadian input. Let's see. And yeah, I think I've got everybody at least who's showed their face. Oh, what's up, Derek? How are you? And yeah. So you guys, I was going to start with a more fun one, but I just moved it back a little bit because here's how crazy things happened with Minnesota. And that's why I'm glad Gagan's here, because he's even told me a couple things, but he comes in and even he gets some of like what I'm getting, or when we're talking about this stuff, he hasn't heard it yet. And he's working up in Minnesota all the time. He works daily up there in the Twin Cities. So we saw Minnesota go to trying to get the language right and literally taking out things that were impossible for the companies. Somebody had put in the comments that that's how this works. You ask for more than you can get, and then you whittle it down. And it's weird to me though, because what the legislature in Minnesota was originally asking for was something that the rideshare companies couldn't do. They didn't have the ability to get the insurance that was needed. So to me, it wasn't like they were asking big and settling for less. It was more like you're asking the unspeakable. And then you had all these other things. So they removed that. They removed the being active all the time, whether you're in stage 0, 1, 2, or 3. And then last week they pushed the bill, and as of Sunday night, the bill passed, and it was going to guarantee gig worker rights. It was going to guarantee the $5 minimum for rideshare. It was going to guarantee the $1.35 or $1.45 a mile and 34 cents a minute. That's moving up from 60 cents and 60 cents a mile, 20 cents a minute. So it's almost triple. And this was supposed to start immediately. The House had approved it, the Senate, and it had been sent back and forth enough times. All of their session is just ending. The only thing that could stand in the way of this at this point became the governor. And the governor has never in his tenure, and he's been in politics for a long time, but in his tenure, he's never, ever vetoed the power of the House and Senate. And this was his first ever veto. He did it today, by the way. So Sunday night, they were in session all weekend. And then today, he used his first veto ever to veto this. And I don't know how to read it. This is different than the Colorado thing. But yeah, yep. So there's Gigan saying, so now the session is officially done. All the things that needed to pass. But he, did he? Yeah, he vetoed.
Now, is there what do you call it? Not an overrun, but yeah, is there a way to overturn the veto? Get some vote that can do that.
I think that it's going to be the same as Colorado. It's going to say come back. I mean, they're done. The session's over. So they're going to say come back next session with a different plan. I mean, like as far as like what you're talking about, like I think that I think it ends up being political pressure. Is that now things would be put on him like, why did you veto that? And now he's look, I've been really, it makes me sick. I talked to Sergio about this kind of stuff. It makes me sick how much these people are tied into politics, but it's almost like now an equation. Like he has to go back to the office and realize who did he gain from doing this move, and who did he please that already is a supporter of his, and then the biggest question: who did he lose by doing this?
So he was paid.
Yeah, I mean, look, he might not have been paid a check, but yes, he was paid. I mean, that's how I see everything in politics. Maybe that's the wrong way to view it, because I know it's not. We used to say it was bribes and that politician's dirty, but if that's the case, man, they're all dirty. And I mean that because they all are in bed with different lobbyists.
The lobbies.
And
I mean, there's not one politician out there who's not in bed with a lobbyist or a group. There's not one.
That's who funds their campaigns.
Monetary. It might be do this for this, or I'll get you this. Like it might be like a barter system nowadays to get what they want.
Well, I know I remember the notice from Uber saying we're gonna leave, and I know that's a pretty common tactic. When something of some kind of legislation comes in, they will threaten to go. They did that in California. I'm sure they did that in other places. But I'll be devil's advocate here. If they put this in with Uber's current business model, could they make it work with the numbers that they're saying?
So once they got all the crap out, all the things like that weren't possible, the $1 million of medical that doesn't exist. There's no company that does it. Once they got the being able to be active all the time, because they do have the right to appeal deactivation too, or they would have. But basically, it was a mirroring with just some different numbers than Seattle and Washington State. which like I know Chris and Sergio and some other people highly trust in. I always am looking for the trapdoor with unions. I just always am. I just don't believe that you can force a company to look. I mean, like I understand that we need to have some kind of understanding here. I don't want to say what the necessary word is, but legislation, some kind of like, even if it's just definition, I've been saying this forever, of the app-based gig economy, not traditional gig economy, but of the app-based gig economy. Because without that definition, I don't even know how we start with rules, regulations, laws, penalties, fines. I mean, because you're just making a bunch of stuff up and you haven't even defined what we're talking about. I don't know.
Uber is powerful. I mean, I guess that's, obvious to say. They're pretty powerful. I mean, even in New York, they still have not figured out how much the minimum wage is going to be. Because I think Uber and DoorDash and the rest of them are saying, hey, listen, if it's too much money, you're going to have a problem. And even the mayor of, most powerful place in the world, right, New York City, he's not trying to push anything in terms of getting this taken care of. So it is interesting. A Democratic mayor, a governor with a big old D next to his name, vetoes the bill
in a huge Democratic state. Yeah. And I mean, they've got, like, if you look at their lineup of senators, and I mean, they are, I mean, what I would call, and I'm not saying it mean, because if you're on that, you're on that, but they're extreme left, hard.
And that's what I'm saying. The only thing I can think of is how powerful the people who are really running that state, those, like I said, the lobbyists, who's running the state, that say, hey, listen, you cannot have this.
Well, I think a big thing is it's 2023 and 2024 is right around the corner. So, I think even more so than thinking about the money, they're thinking about, 3 years down the road, not just this year. Because I think when it comes to election season, that's when even people far left, far right, they tend to err a little bit more towards the center typically when it comes to actual voting. Now, they'll talk far left, they'll talk far right, but when it comes down to putting their money where their mouth is, rarely do they follow all the way through.
Uber estimated the increase of the minimum wage for drivers will cause ride costs to be at least 50% and the number of trips to drop by 30%. Is that over the top, worst case scenario? Again, that's Uber's tactic, is to scare everyone by saying, if you agree with this, we're out. We're going to leave because it's too expensive. Do you think that's a possibility if they did have that minimum wage?
I see. So here's what I wonder, like you were just talking about the actual rates. So, okay, the whole state was going to be $1.27 per mile, 37 per minute. Oh no, that's Washington State. It was going to be $1.45 a mile, 34 cents in the Twin Cities. There's 7 counties. And then it was going to be $1.25 and 34 cents anywhere in the state. In Washington State, it's $1.27 per mile and 37 cents. And $1.50 and 64 cents per minute. Not really basing on the per minute. You're 5 cents more on the Seattle market compared to the Twin Cities, and you're 2 cents higher in Washington State than the rest of Minnesota. The cost of living in Minnesota is about 1/3 of Seattle in the state of Washington. So my question becomes, like, did they go too big? Did they ask for too much?
Kind of sounds like it is with those numbers. I mean, the cost of living is that much lower, but they're asking for that much money.
Right. And obviously it passed the House and Senate in a state where we kind of thought it would, but now it gets to the governor, who's never vetoed anything and stands by these people blindly. And he's vetoing his first thing. So I feel like Uber, DoorDash, whoever it is, called in like their mega favor and said, look, you're going to have to do this for us.
Is he running for anything anytime soon? Like, is he run? Like, I got checked. Like, if he's just got, I don't know. Like, usually governors last 6 years. I'm terrible with.
No, I think you
vote. Is this every 4?
You vote every 4.
It 4?
Yeah, it's just on. It's every. You vote for a president, and then you vote for the governors and things like that 2 years later. In the end,
so I'm wondering if he thinks he had enough time to veto this, and people will move on and forget about it. Like, I'm thinking because if you're about to run again, this is what the other. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it don't matter because he's he may get primary. You know what I mean? Like it's such a bad deal. It's against the worker kind of mindset of a lot of the Democratic elected officials. They're supposed to be for the workers, which is kind of weird now. But that's the narrative. But
I mean, the other thing is even if he wasn't. Even if you have the whole term left to go, it's not like you can burn your bridges with one of your top 3 constituents.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it that way. You just should have never gotten in bed with them in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's easier for me to say that than to be in his place and understand what it's like to have to do that.
It reminds me of how strong and how powerful these companies are. Yeah, it's possible. Like you said, maybe they asked for a little bit too much but still, to get that guy to say no when he
that's why I'm saying if maybe I don't know how to estimate that difference, but if you're talking about a third of the cost of living, and let's just use Seattle's $1.50 a mile and 64 cents, and they asked for $1.45 and 34. Okay, maybe leave the 34, but would it even? I've kind of. I mean, I don't think it's the solution for life, but even $1 per mile, wouldn't that have been a hell of a lot better than 60 cents?
Yeah.
And moving the 20 cents up to 34. I know it's not life-changing, people, but it's life-changing enough to put you above the, what's going on in this country right now and inflation and everything. You'd be ahead of the game way more than most. And I feel like if that would have come to his desk and then Uber called him and said, hey, we need to pull our strings here and you need to veto this, I feel like that veto would have been a lot harder for him to do with a smaller number.
Yeah.
Because he could have been like, I don't see how I can veto this. This is actually it's like in Connecticut. They want rideshare drivers to be paid 4 times minimum wage on a minimum active hour. And to me, I'm not trying to be a jerk. Obviously, I want us all to get paid the most that we can, but I think we need to be realistic too. And asking for 4 times and I'm not talking about the federal low income. I'm talking about the 1066 it is minimum wage in Connecticut. They're looking at wanting rideshare and delivery drivers to get 400% of minimum wage. Well, what's the point of minimum wage then?
Well, I think the other thing you got to think about is not only does it impact, I think, the rideshare companies, but if we're talking about who's going to go and leave other companies, like if I'm working at McDonald's, Chipotle, even a lot of grocery stores, a lot of, high volume employers. And all of a sudden you tell me I can go from making $15 an hour, $20 an hour doing this to making $40 an hour doing Uber Eats, doing Lyft or whatever it may be. That's going to impact those companies as well. So I think just as much as DoorDash and Uber have some skin in the game, I think there's some other companies that have skin in the game too that aren't, maybe not at first glance who you would think.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
but I guess Steve, are you? I mean, I think I'm catching it, but just I guess to clarify, do you think the people who put this bill up to the governor, it was too pie in the sky. It was too favorable, and it wasn't realistic to a point where the governor kind of was. It's easy for him to say, "Well, this is not going to work." Like I said, the prices, like I said, other companies, other employers, it just wasn't going to be sustainable, and it kind of.
I mean, I think the hardest thing for me to understand is that this is, look, I don't know how I feel about all their House members and their Senate members. I don't live there, but I don't watch the day to day of how they get along, how they work. But all I do know is this governor has never, ever vetoed anything that these people can put together.
Is he running?
This has now become the first thing in his career. And he's not a first-year politician. He's been doing this for years and years and years.
Do you know if he's going to run for a higher office?
I don't know. I feel like,
because a lot of times people take steps prior to them putting their hat in the race for a higher office. So they don't want to do anything to rock the boat to get the ballot and get into the running. So I'm just curious if...
I don't know what the higher office in Minnesota would be. And
I'm saying if he's a governor, I'm saying president, vice president.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Who's he gonna... I don't know how he stands. I've never heard his name mentioned as a presidential, even one of the first 15 that they're going to look at. Like, I don't even know if he's being
But
scouted or whatever.
how many times though around, 2 years before election, even a year before election, like all these governors and senators come out of like the woodworks and you're like, who's that person? I've never heard of them before ever. And then like all of a sudden you have all these people and they have to narrow it down. And, I'm just thinking maybe it's like one of those cases where I don't know anything about the Minnesota governor, but you just never know. There might be something further down the road that he's looking at that we'll never know, or we don't know about, that might position him for a better position later on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big fat check. Really,
So
a really good.
Gigan up there says that he expects he will at some point. I'm guessing he means run for something bigger.
Well, sometimes they go from like a governor to being like a senator, where they're still representing their state, but on a larger level.
But what's her name? What's the hard left one that's senator right now? She's kind of new from Minnesota. I don't see her going anywhere for a while.
No.
I don't know. I really have no idea. All I know is that this guy doesn't veto. He goes with the party. He's known to be a party supporter. And while I say you should vote on, no, I wasn't thinking Omar. I was thinking of the, oh my gosh, it's going to come to me, but yeah, Omar too is there, but it's that he votes with the party. He's not somebody who ever strays the party. He doesn't do that. He votes with the party, and the party there is very strong. So I mean, he broke his rhythm today, and I don't even know if his reasons align with the party.
So here's the question: is how much did it pass initially by the legislature? Because I was just looking this up, and they can repass that bill with a 2/3 vote, and then that would override the veto. So they can run it back depending on how much it passed by.
Even if the session's over, though?
Well, there'd be a repass. So that would be the same session. It would be the next session when this comes back around. So is the question, do they try to repass that same bill, or do they try to bring the numbers down and pass a new bill potentially?
I'm guessing, but I thought it was kind of close, but I could be wrong. I remember reading it was not.
I mean, they're all usually pretty close, even in the states where you'd expect it to be really swing the other way. They're usually all pretty close.
That's probably why that 2/3 limit is so hard to hit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it 2/3 of both the House and Senate?
It has to be 2/3 correct, both.
I mean, that even makes it harder though, because you usually have a balance in at least one of them. I mean, so if you get 2/3 really in one, the chances of doing it in both, that would be pretty crazy.
Right. That's why it's probably rare that it ever happens.
Yeah, but it's also rare that most governors veto bills, and it's really crazy that he's vetoing one that kind of goes along with everything he's about. Like, he's about labor. He's about this, that, the other. So like when Hannibal asked, is he running for re-election? I mean, I started thinking about that. Probably not, because my guess is like he's making deals with the companies or something, because he can't be looking at a long-term career, because he just showed his constituents he's not doing what he promised.
Yeah. So usually you do something crazy like that and you're landing a nice cushy position when you're not being in politics. You're in a private sector with a really nice position. That's usually what would happen. So I'm thinking I still need to figure out what's going to happen here in New York City. We already see what happens in California. Usually, talking especially the big liberal areas. What's happening in New York? It's still taking forever to figure out what exactly the amount is going to be. Once that kind of figures itself out, maybe other areas start to position themselves as well, more accordingly to like standard of living. You're not trying to ask for Connecticut. I think it was like 30-something dollars an hour doing something else. So it has to be more realistic to where you live, to see how this all filters out, because I think they will have these laws everywhere eventually.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, I think that I really do think they overreached, so when we talked about the bill here in Colorado, not passing, like I've said, it had no numbers attached to it. So there were no per mile because they weren't Stephanie, who is a gig worker here, wasn't basing it on that because we were already to upfront pricing. All these other states are fighting based, even if they're at upfront pricing now, they're still fighting on based on the last rate cards because they think that's the only way to truly display what's going on. And I agree with that. I think that you really can't show people who don't understand what's going on unless you're using here's what they're paid per mile per minute.
Yeah, I think whatever passes, whenever it does, whatever state, to look at those numbers, but I think it has to factor in, some cost of living, some percentages, some ratios to minimum wage and things like that. I think you just can't look at flat, hard numbers there.
Yeah. The other thing Tony's saying, so to this, Tony, I would say that one thing for sure that I think this. I don't know if anybody else knows this, but I know a couple of guys who do a Sunday morning, very early live stream called the Taxi Hour. Known these guys for a while. They're really good guys. One of them, Ed, was a taxi driver in New York City for 50 years. And the other guy, John, was a taxi driver in Minnesota, and they do a co-podcast from the two. And I've jumped on there before, and they actually have a cab industry in Minnesota in the Twin Cities that isn't quite dead yet as much as others. So I'm wondering too if part of it is trying to push hard for a revival of cab industry. Because even if it's not exactly right, what Hannibal was saying about 50% higher rates.
That's what Uber is saying.
Right. Even if it's not quite that, because they were saying some cases could even double. So, but even at 50% higher, people aren't going to, I know we talk about it's engulfed into your life, but people aren't going to spend twice as much on an Uber. They'll get creative and either get a car, start using public transportation, get a bike. I know it's Minnesota.
Yeah.
I know it can snow up there a lot. I don't know, get some reindeer and a sleigh. I don't know.
Dog sledding come back.
I guess my point is people aren't just going to keep paying this. Like Uber's not at a point where they can just call the shots on pricing. People are.
They'll look at it and like, okay, I guess I'll figure some other way to get to where I need to go. I'm sure it's a breaking point of how much money you're willing to spend because they made it so cheap earlier, like a couple of years ago, where it was so cheap and everyone was making money and
now, no matter where you are in the standings, look, nobody can, not many anyway. If you do tell me this, okay, good for you. But I don't think any of us can say we're earning at our best right now. And I'm not saying that based on the apps or anything. I'm just saying, I'm even talking about other things I do. I'm just talking about the cost of living, groceries, life. Like it's just tough right now across the board for everybody. If it's not, I'd be shocked if somebody in this chat's like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm on Easy Street. It's the best start to a year I've seen. I'd be like, well, where are you living? Because
let me know your portfolio.
Yeah, because I'm not saying that I can't earn what I was or any of that. No, in fact, I can. But the problem is the value of that money isn't going very far.
Yeah, so it's not what you earn; it's what you're spending nowadays.
Yeah, I can't go to the grocery store for less than a few $100s. It's just impossible. And it's just Max and I. Again, I've told you guys, but it's like throwing food down a garbage disposal at them. But, it's still just the two of us, man. It shouldn't be that much. And I can't do it.
No. I think that's going to be the other challenge with all these bills is it's inflation is hitting all the rideshare prices so hard already. Can't imagine them going up any higher than they already are.
Yeah. But obviously, one thing for sure is that Uber made it sound like, hey, if you take this other language out, so they were playing ball through this whole Minnesota thing. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, but if you take this out and stuff, maybe we can work with you. And then they get them to like take that out. And again, some of it was impossible to do. So of course it should go out, but they get them to take out the other parts too. And then making it look like they're working with them. Okay. Yeah. Let's do these numbers. Okay. And then they pass it. And of course they find that person who can veto it for them. It's like, why'd you even bother telling them to take all the other things out when you knew in the end, if it got through, you were just going to have it killed?
Psychological warfare.
I know, but to me, it would have looked better to have them pass the stupid bill as it was with like undoable standards. You need to carry $1 million in medical. That's not offered in this country. So I guess we can't do business here.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me, that would just make the state of Minnesota look stupid. You know, because you'd literally be like, why did you not? I mean, you don't have somebody that can like look into this and make sure that that's a thing that's offered. I mean, the four of us could find out if that insurance was offered in 5 minutes. They don't have a team of people that can make sure what they're asking for is doable. I don't know. I just don't believe that. Not even for a second. But the other thing, we'll kind of move through this a little quicker. And then John has a story, Kim has a story, then again, there's some other ones. But this new rideshare company has kind of been blowing my mind this week. I talked about it on the audio podcast. The app is called blackwolfapp.com. If you guys look it up, this is rideshare for Atlanta and New York, where they do offer. I was going through the website. They do have it defaults to this one, to the primary, but there is a way to say you'd rather not, but they're still skilled. But basically what it is every rideshare driver is armed. You have to be armed to drive on this platform. So yeah, I mean, it was talking about celebrities and people who need money and stuff and whatnot, but it also said getting your kids places. And again, they're hitting, you know, places like Atlanta and New York where, you know, there is a lot of stress in the, like getting into ride shares. I proposed the other day when I was talking about this, that maybe, you know, just maybe people like, look, I mean, in rideshare, you have to click a box saying you don't have a gun. But here in Denver, I know rideshare drivers that carry guns. So
are they offering private security as well? Like, is it like a dual type of thing since they have celebrities?
If you go to the website, it kind of looks like it, and it looks like it could be if you really want it to. Like, it looks like you could really beef this up. But I mean, you can just get rides.
But it says it's sold as executive protection for people who are worried about their personal safety. So
okay, so if I'm an executive and I hail one of these cabs, they will protect me from attacks, not themselves, because I'm sure they have a gun, they can protect themselves. But like me, are they protecting me too? If they're protecting me, then I mean, I don't mind.
I mean, look,
I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of the service. If like, how many people have you lost? Well, only 5 this year. But
Brandon,
that's a low rating.
Brandon isn't even doing ride sharing; he's carrying. So he's doing food delivery and Spark and carrying. So look, I mean,
I'm pro carry. It's just,
I guess I'm just saying that with this one. Well, here's some of the caveats that came with it. They are properly trained by the company. They actually have real background checks done, not checker.
They said they have the people have military and security backgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just you have a license. You have to it also, like, I actually looked at the application. I was going through it, and it's like, not only do you need your concealed permit, but you need to know how to operate a pistol and a shotgun.
Jesus,
it sounded very GTA to me. Like,
the rides sound expensive. I don't think you're getting a really cheap ride if you're hiring someone that has all this experience and they're going to drive you around. Like, that seems expensive. It seems like it's for the CEOs and very important people. That has
right. But even where John was looking on the homepage, there's like a subtitle that says something that kind of puts it down there to even like your kids or your family, get them safely. Like, the third option over is school kids. It's like, the first option is like
ambassador's daughter or something like that, I'm sure.
Right, but the first option is like armed driver. The second option is unarmed driver, but if you look into the website, the unarmed driver is like a black belt in karate, carries mace. So it's like he's still
John
an
Wick
ultimate fighter, ready to go. And then the third one over was like mini school bus or something. Like, we can get your kids to school. And I was like, what? Like,
are they in suits too? Because that would be kind of.
They actually are.
They better tuck that shirt in. That's all I know.
They look like they're in shirt and suit. The only thing they're missing in the website on the pictures that I would expect is like the earpiece thing.
Yeah.
Who are they talking to? You?
I don't know. It's just the only thing missing. It looked like that kind of thing. Everything's an Escalade.
Well, if you're
Yeah,
John Wick, you don't need an earpiece. You just get it done.
Yeah, this is for people who have money. I mean, I think it's worth the service. Like I'm sure it's something that's worth for people, but it's for people
But
who
if he
have
can
a
get
lot
the
of money.
but if this, and I was looking at the CEO, he has some combat training and things like this. So I was looking at it, I'm thinking, this isn't, we've seen other ride shares try and start up. It's very hard to compete with these. He is offering something the others don't.
Unique
And
selling
even
point.
if it's a little more, but they still even have a ride where the guy just carries, some people might, even just not the very top tier people that would need it, but some people might just choose an extra $8 for a ride that's
Tony says
protected. I don't know.
he's
I don't
gonna
live in
sign
Atlanta.
up. Tony, you have a combat training? Tony has like
I'm
mace.
signing
And,
up.
how many guns do you have? A
wait,
shotgun?
Did Steve say it's only an extra $8? There's no way that this is an extra $8.
There's no way.
I
There's
know,
no
but
way.
okay, let's say a $15 ride is maybe I know that they do some like very extensive stuff, but they obviously have like ride share going on too. So I mean, like maybe it's
But
30.
they should charge more. That's what I'm saying. Like they should. Like I think
Yeah.
if you have someone that can do all these things, but for the average poor-ish person, they may
Who's
not be
going
able
to
to
work?
afford this. Yeah, this kind of safety, which it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? These people probably deserve to get paid a really good amount. Tony says it's $60 base pay for
Wait,
the ride.
Is it 60?
Well, damn it! I need to sign up too.
Like for the
I can't
ride,
do.
like for the ride or for the driver.
For like you, the driver, Tony, after you move
I
to
think
Atlanta.
that's why he said he wants to sign up. I think it is probably $60 base pay. I'll sign up
You're
too.
putting your life on the line. I mean, you're basically becoming a.
Well,
Jason
what's
Statham.
beyond the base pay though? Is it
$60?
mileage? Because I mean, is it
Tip.
mileage and stuff, or is there like if you're shot at, you get a surge?
Get a surge.
The more
Surge is
stars you
coming.
get, the more you pay. You get 5-star, you get $500 extra.
How often you're going to encounter anything? I think
I might be
it's
small,
good
but
to-
I am mighty.
I do find it surprising that with Alto in LA and Texas only, that this company isn't going to LA, because I would think they'd clean up with celebrities. I mean, just only because I know celebrities already, a lot of them have their own security and whatnot, but I do a lot of shows and stuff. You'd be surprised how much of this stuff is last minute, trying to find these people safe rides and whatnot.
they're using regular Ubers like everybody else.
It would.
I think that's why they set it in
It would
Atlanta and New
honestly
York.
work really well in my neck of the woods with all the Wall Street people and all the CEOs traveling into the city. Like it would actually.
And the new
really
Netflix
well.
playground that you got.
Yeah.
The whole new Netflix thing coming.
Tim's got a whole new Netflix movie world coming.
So when you pick which one you want, like
so
get the app. So you have the guy. You can get a guy with a pistol, but you can get a guy with 2 pistols. That's XL, or like XL is the shotgun. Like you get to pick which has the guns that could protect you.
You get to get like a driver and a guy riding a shotgun with a shotgun. I mean,
It looked
that's
like
extra.
I don't know how, I was digging pretty deep in the site, but I saw a picture where there were 3 people who were assigned to one ride.
That's kind of cool.
There's no way that's more than $8 a ride.
If I stay for a month, I will get one ride just to experience that for a second. You know.
Where are you going to get dropped off at?
But
I don't know,
here's my other question. So here's why I kind of thought the model, I mean, is it ready for every city debut? Heck no. No, most cities, no. But I mean, would it be popular in a lot? Here's one thing I have to say is that, would you feel better about, or if you're riding in a rideshare, do you think Uber and Lyft drivers will get robbed first as opposed to these drivers?
Well, obviously.
So this is what I think. I think the drivers won't get robbed, but if I see a car that has this high client, I'm like, where is this going to drop this person off at? When they get out of that car, then hey, your stop is over. Good luck out there.
Usually they get you into what you're doing or whatever. I mean, like, because that's the same as what already goes on with private security and whatnot. So I mean, that's going on daily in all the big cities, in John City, and all of us are in big areas. I mean, like, it's going on all the time, but we just don't see it. But I'm saying, like, somebody's not going to go, I'm going to carjack a rideshare driver tonight. They're not going to go to this thing. They're going to go to
especially,
Uber or
especially if the
Lyft, where
vehicle
the
has
people.
the presidential tints. You can't see what's going on. It would be a bad idea. You have a would-be criminal would like to have some idea what's going on before they pounce. So if you don't have no idea what's in this car, who's in this car, in this big SUV, that probably would not be the best start. You go to somewhere more, I guess, accessible.
Yeah, most criminals aren't trying to play hard mode every day.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think Tony's going to jump in. So I don't know if I don't know what his training is. If he knows how to use a shotgun, but
look, if he's taken somebody 100 miles to an airport, so what? He's going to make, what, 175 and 60. He's going to make what, 235 for an hour and a half's work. I mean, that's pretty good, man.
Can't complain about that.
That's amazing.
I mean, look, here's my point. If you're driving Uber or Lyft and you have some tactical background and you are already carrying, I don't know why, if this is in your city, you wouldn't apply for this.
Yes, I totally agree. Sign up now. What's the point? You're already doing it.
You're doing it for $2 rides.
Just gotta get a suit though.
Yeah,
and get it fitted.
You know what, man? I drove black car service and limo, and I had to wear a suit, but I got paid good. So you know what? I don't have a problem doing things if I get paid good.
Yeah,
you get paid suit money, man. Wear the suit. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, some people get like, I'm not going to wear a suit. Like, okay, well, I want to be paid 10 times what you are being paid, so I'm going to wear the suit. And I don't care. Like,
tactical food delivery, Kim. Should protect your food.
Hey, like I said, I am small, but I am mighty.
I mean, if you had a lot of money, it'd be pretty cool to like call. Again, they're called Black Wolf. It's called Black Wolf app. If you guys want to look it up.com, but Black Wolf, and get one of the 3-car security services and have them go pick up your McDonald's.
It'll be secure.
All jokes put aside, though, when I was in college, I wanted to be an FBI agent, but I'm too small, so I couldn't.
Wait, there's a height requirement?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's like 5'8", I think.
Wow,
5'4",
really?
5'5". There's actually a height requirement. Yeah.
I wonder if there is now, though, Kim. Like, we're so woke.
I don't know. I mean,
now it's probably like, hey, we can't.
I graduated in 2000.
We can't make you a fighter. We can make you a spy, though.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. I think all that kind of stuff's gone. I hear you. And Kim's younger than me, but came up around the same time-ish. And honestly, I bet you that's gone. Because I bet you they have to have a quota even. Like you got your 5 people under 5'8".
But I understand it because if you're in the field, I would assume from like a combat standpoint, you would need to have some height and some weight on you. And God, when I was in college, I was under 100 pounds and I was like, I'm still 5'2", but yeah, I get it. I was just squashing my dreams of FBI agent.
So I know I think he was in here too a little bit ago anyway. I think I saw him. Christopher Taylor. Yeah. I know I think he was the one that sent this over before I had seen it. But I know that it's all over right now. And I know John wants to talk about it. And I know it's in John's city.
Everything's coming from my city. Sometimes it's good, but it's not in this case. Oh, we'll see.
But it's going to make it easier for you to finally do one of these and tell us about it. Because now you don't have to be part of Waymo and all this. So I don't know. Do you want to tell us about this?
So this is the thing that's coming to Phoenix, Arizona. It's interesting. So Waymo's been out here, but essentially Uber is going to be partnered with Waymo to deliver food in robo taxis. So hopefully these are all no tip orders, and they're just going to leave the orders with the tips for the real people, or either that or Uber's going to steal all the tips. I don't know. One of the two things is going to happen. But a set number of Waymo vehicles will be available to Uber riders and Uber Eats delivery customers in Phoenix, where the company apparently recently doubled its service area to 180 square miles. Okay, so that's why I've been seeing them around more places. So yeah, that's the big thing about it. Their robo taxis are delivering. I think last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago, we were just talking about drones delivering food in Phoenix. Earlier this year, or maybe it was late last year, drones delivering for Walmart in Phoenix. My market is getting smaller. It feels like the robots are coming.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing too is that like now Uber again, I don't even know. This is Uber's fourth team up with Waymo. Then and in between they've sued each other many times. Like these
It's like a very
companies are
testing
very
relationship.
strange. The way they keep doing this, like they partner up for 6 months, they hate each other, they go to court and waste tons of money, and then they come out of it and they remerge, and then I mean, I don't know. Waymo is a worldwide leader in autonomous. Uber isn't even on the map. So I don't know. I find
Uber
that
has a court case with autonomous. I mean, Uber killed
I know,
it.
and that's another thing, man. It seems like a horrible time to be starting this program up in that area. I know that the court case won't take place in Maricopa County, but that court case starts in June.
Yeah, it actually it's mentioned in here in the article about Uber's infamous run with their autonomous division, and that incident happening and how that ended that autonomous division of Uber.
You think
Yeah.
maybe they should wait until that situation is done before they, link up again with Waymo, and
if anything goes wrong, they're just gonna blame it on Waymo this time.
So is this one gonna be like Vegas, or is this gonna be like San Francisco where it's unmanned?
I don't believe I believe these are still manned, and the Waymo ones around Phoenix, but I don't know, because I feel like with food delivery, you have to have somebody in there to take the food out of the car, or otherwise you're asking me to go deliver my food and me to go and get it from this driverless vehicle.
See, I don't get that either. Remember those Neuro things that like have the exterior loading bays, so you can just pull your food out of different bays, and it just looks like a weird little vehicle. Right. I don't understand why they're not using. Why are they using $400,000 plus vehicles that already don't work very well to deliver $2 orders?
Range.
I mean, I'm not sure what they're hoping to get out of that. I thought the whole idea was rideshare. I mean, I don't see making $500,000 cars to deliver $2 food as a solution for the delivery.
Well, I feel like for Waymo, it's like Waymo's using it to make money from Uber more than anything, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I guess Uber has a larger reach than Waymo to get it out there, because Waymo used to be that you had to be affiliated with Waymo or sign something or whatever to be able to even use those cars. So this is finally opening it up to the public. But I feel like, again, they're doing it like, look, I've talked to experts in this field. I've talked to people who are in this industry who said it's not there. If every single person I've talked to, which is what it is, has said it's not there. Now, to what degrees they say it or differ, sure, but it's not there. If it's not there, how is it safe enough to be live?
Yep.
I mean, I don't have anybody disagree with me that it's not there. Nobody. Everybody I've asked said, yeah, but by 2025, or some people are like, dude, maybe 50 years, we'll see something like level 5. But, I mean, it just differs. But these are experts in the field who just openly acknowledge we're not there. But yet we're running live testing in Phoenix. And why do we hate Phoenix so much? Like, why do we? I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, Uber already killed somebody there. Like, Waymo wants to put their good name on with Uber and send them out again.
I think with Uber, they tried their own way. Like I said, someone's passed on, someone died. Waymo's probably trying to survive. I think this is just probably a temporary event, temporary situation where they kind of need each other. And I'm sure they'll sue each other in the next couple of months. Waymo needs work probably, and Uber don't know what they're doing. So they're like, this is just another. It's like that on off again relationship. They both are not good with each other, but they're lonely, so they're together for a while. They'll break up again. It's a whole thing. I don't know.
They're more worse apart than they are together.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you guys know where I'm at with autonomous. We're not there. I think it's more of a joke at this point than I do a reality, because I by that I mean they just lie so much to the public for the PR reasons, but they lie all the time. And at this point, it's just become like, look, we know it's not safe. We know that testing goes bad. I mean, like what happened in San Francisco and what we saw, like finally saw some real news about you know, how San Francisco feels about that damn thing. You know, even the governor was like, my hands are tied. We don't want them here. You know, like, so I was kind of surprised when we finally saw that NBC video, because I was like, okay, this is like the first video that actually makes sense. And it was NBC. It was kind of like, this is crazy. Fire department was complaining. Everybody's complaining about these damn things. And they're like, they're just in the way. You know, and it's, and their record wasn't even good. You know, their record was like, I can't remember. Marissa happened to break down the math when they were talking about it in the video. And it was like, I can't even remember. It was like, you know, 2% of the accidents a day, or the 2% of the incidents a day with vehicles in San Francisco out of 400,000 cars were electric, and like, I don't know, something like 0.00012 or something was the human error or something. I don't know. But I know they don't have a ton of cars out, but it's like, what, you want to put more cars out with these bad, horrible records and numbers?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Kim is going to take us to a DoorDash story, because I want to talk about, I want to make sure we have time for the other DoorDash story too, because I'm curious everybody's view on this.
When I chose this, I'm like, oh, John should actually probably do this story. He probably knows a lot more about it than I do. But it is a family, a couple. I don't know who it is, but they live in a remote village of Alaska. And in order to get food or anything, they have to get everything flown in, including DoorDash. So this person, whenever they do an order, they order from McDonald's and they supersize the order. So this person ordered 2 frozen Cokes, 2 frozen blue Fantas, 5 French fries, 3 20-piece nuggets, and 6 Big Macs, all to his remote village on an airplane to Alaska. So supposedly, like, this is a thing in Alaska. Like, the driver, I guess, picks up the order, brings it to the airport, and it gets loaded in these boxes, but they're refrigerated. So when you get your DoorDash order, it arrives cold.
Yeah, the food can't taste good. Like McDonald's fries, if you don't eat them immediately, they're inedible, right? Or do you people?
I wouldn't want to reheat McDonald's fries in the microwave.
I was just going to ask, I mean,
an air fryer?
I was going to ask John, like, in the tundra, do you just kind of accept they're going to be frozen old fries?
So I lived in the city. I didn't live in the Venus area. I'll kind of put things into context a little bit. I'm guessing these people live either in like northern Alaska, like where the oil fields are basically, or Barrows, like, if that rings a bell to anybody. But long story short, a place where basically if you're there, like, you either settle there, or like I said, it's near the oil fields where it's like only the oil companies out there, the people who work for the oil companies. But they drive it. This is from Anchorage, like in the city, to like a small airfield where like the putt-putt planes or the little 2-engine planes fly. And it's interesting because that means that there's also somebody that has to fly these orders. So I wonder what they're getting paid for that part of it. But yeah, it's at least a good 1 hour flight at least. So yeah,
I don't know about that. I mean,
they got, if you're a soda, you order your soda would be flat.
Yeah, like, why am I eating this?
Well, the funny thing is they say in the instructions for the DoorDash, it is hand food to people at the counter at the airport.
Yeah,
that's
I
their
was
note.
just gonna say, like, what's the carbon offset of like flying McDonald's around?
I'm assuming they're transporting other things. I don't think.
I definitely hope there's other things.
It's just a McDonald's sitting.
So they're waiting for a cargo ship to go out.
And but you can do you get your Big Mac like 3 days later, because that's the next cargo ship. So your Big Mac is sitting in a container for 3 days before you get it.
No, I think they get it, but it's probably a good hour or two wait, because so they have these small airfields where it's like just, you know, people like you and I who happen to love flying planes decide to fly plane like people would buy a boat. And those people, that's why I guess probably those people who love to fly. They're like, oh yeah, I'll fly 2 hours or an hour. You know,
yeah, I got nothing else going on. I love that. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I love flying.
They probably get it. It's probably way more expensive than it should be because they're gonna get taxed by the app. They're
No.
probably paying tax to somebody to actually deliver to them. It's a lot of.
Okay, well, what would you guys order if you guys live where they lived? Like you absolutely have to have it. Like you've moved there and you're stuck there for some time. What would you order? Would it be McDonald's? Like I guess something fast foodish. You know, don't ask for like 5-course dinner here, but like Kim, what would you ask to have sent to you from plane to a car to you?
I am a McDonald's girl, so I don't know whether I think it honestly would be if there's no fast food, I would definitely think it would be like McDonald's fries, Big Macs, like nuggets. I would probably go their whole route they went. I don't know though. I'd be weirded out by the cold fries. Like you can't microwave fries, so then you would have to put it in like I don't know the oven.
Why would
to
you
get
order
it warmed up.
fries? Wouldn't you just learn not to?
So this is what I actually would
Fries
think.
are
I
the
would
best
think.
part.
So think about this from the perspective of somebody who's grown up in a remote village. You don't know what the fries are supposed to taste like. You don't know what the burger is supposed to taste like.
That's a good point.
So like,
I would
this
imagine you'd eat the
D
soggy
plus
fries
burger
and be
is
like,
the
people
best
like
you've ever
this?
had in your
Like,
life.
this is crap.
Like, oh, you probably your parents told you it was good, your brother told you it was good. Like everybody told you this is what good food tastes like until you come to the city and see you've been bamboozled your entire life.
Yeah. Tony actually has a good point. Wouldn't it make more sense just
Yeah.
to fly to the McDonald's?
That is true.
You-
And then
you'll
you get
get
it
more,
warm.
yeah. You get it fresh. You get to spend a whole day in the city. If you fly to the city, you don't want McDonald's. Maybe you do. I don't know.
If
Chipotle.
there's
Can you
no,
imagine getting Chipotle? Ooh.
I'll take a burrito. Yeah. If I can get a burrito flown to me, I'll take that. No
I
problem.
like Derek's answer here.
If the preserve, but like a really nice pizza pie, yeah, fly that bad boy there because I can always like reheat that in the oven.
Oh, pizza
Yeah,
is
that
a
would
good
be
thing.
like a Papa
Yeah.
Murphy's, yeah.
like a delicious pie that's done right. Even
Why
if
wouldn't
it's
you
cold,
just
I forgot.
not cook it? Just send it not cooked.
I mean, for a pizza, yeah, send me a take.
Wait! I'm ordering to get eat. I'm not ordering.
Right, but why?
This ain't Instacart.
It's gonna take a day to get to you, man.
It better be cooked. Pre-prepared? What do you call it? Prepared foods.
I mean, I guess like where I live, you can DoorDash by walking.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, I mean, you can. I don't know
Yeah.
what you get for orders. You can bike. You can do it on scooters. You can do it in your car. But maybe up there they've got like like puddle hoppers. Like those people who have planes can like sign up and you get like DoorDash flight.
Kim, did they say how much they paid for this service?
No, they did not say any of that in the article unless I missed it somewhere.
So-
No.
So it looks like when I looked at the TikTok. Hold on, I'm trying to pull this up. It was from the driver, the person who delivered it, and it showed what they got paid. So I was kind of curious. I saw a tip on there. It's like they got 3 bags. Gosh, I can't even. $250 base pay. Gosh, come on. I think they got paid about. I think there's a decent tip on there. I just can't get this to stop on what I needed to.
$250 base pay in the middle of wilderness. Like, come on, at least come on.
Maybe there's a hidden
$4. Yeah, hidden. Oh man, I
Here's
flew
the
over here.
tip.
This is all I got.
Don't get it delivered.
So the tip was $21.80. That's what it showed.
$21.80 tip.
Was the tip? Yes, it's all a tip. It's all a tip.
Dude, I wonder how mad you'd be if you were like flying this and you got tip baited.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Like
It's
fly
not even
back.
funny. It's not even
You just
funny.
fly
but
back.
It's kind of funny.
You're like, I'm gonna kill that guy.
I can't believe I did this, Scott.
They're like watching our videos going, man, you guys got it so easy. Shut up. You ever fought a grizzly bear?
Yeah, like that video that Hannibal had the rat on your food.
Yeah, right.
The
Like
grizzly bear on your food.
Or the
Let
guy
'em
who
have it.
orders KFC who lives in like, up a dirt road that you got to park your car at the bottom. And it's all wooded and outskirt Alaska. And you're like walking KFC.
you know what? I would ask for Popeyes if I was there and I had in a while.
Popeyes
I would say,
really?
yeah, Popeyes. Yeah, spicy chicken. Get some of that Cajun fries. Yeah, that'll be.
You want a
nice.
cockroach to
Actually,
go along
speaking
with
of,
it?
I would go to
I'm hungry. I'm
Chick-fil-A.
hungry. I'm
Wow.
hungry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm hungry right now. I'm talking, but that sounds good right now. Yeah, get that flown to me.
So
Was
the last
Hannibal
thing,
there for that week? for Popeyes? I can't remember.
He had to
Hannibal, were
be.
you there?
Oh, the roaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that one. I don't want that store. The other stores that don't have the roaches.
Right. You got to remember there were incident years apart, but they all took place in Detroit.
Oh, it's okay.
Just
I'm not
don't-
in Michigan.
don't
I'm talking
pick
about
on Detroit.
yeah, Michigan. No Popeyes there. I'm sorry.
Right. I mean, so this is the last one that we have for tonight. I don't know. I don't think we discussed it at all last week. And I know we didn't, in fact, because I don't think it came out till Friday was the first time I saw it. But what's up with this DoorDash iPhone users being charged more?
It's crazy.
It's
Yeah,
crazy
it's
because I've seen a
discrimination.
lot of the different amounts, but I'm finally seeing a new article today where it ranges from 8 to 32% more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they think that we earn more as we. But yeah, iPhone users, all of
On
us.
average,
Steve, you're
I
an
mean,
iPhone guy. Yeah, you're an iPhone guy. I think you're.
I have
I think
iPhone.
we're all
You're
iPhone.
not-
Are we all
yeah.
iPhones?
I'm Android.
Oh.
But I don't think
Okay.
you know these days. Let's be honest, an
Poor
Android
people.
costs the same as an iPhone.
All right.
A brand new Android is not cheap. A brand new
I need-
Android is the same price as an iPhone, almost.
I need to do that. I was thinking about actually doing an experiment on my own. Like I gotta find an Android.
But what they're
Um,
also stating, it's not even just iPhone versus Android. From what I was reading and the articles I've been reading and researching, it's also Dash Pass versus non-Dash
Yes.
Pass customers. Like there's this hidden fee that they're charging Dash Pass customers
On the
versus-
iPhone.
on the iPhone versus the Android, which is absolutely ridiculous. And some of the ones that you see in the articles, when they put them side by side, like you would think since you pay for Dash Pass, it should be like so much cheaper, right? So all these fees are discounted, no delivery fee. It was like one of the comparisons was like 80 cents between someone who didn't have Dash Pass and someone who did.
I was just going to say, so one of the complaints also says that members of DoorDash's Dash Pass program are more likely to be charged an expanded range fee
That's what it's called.
than non-subscribers. Dash Pass costs $9.99 a month and waives your delivery fees on eligible orders. But yeah, so it's range fee. But this thing sounds to me like something that they made up once they realized that we caught on that iPhone people are being charged more. Like, well, that's under the range fee thing. What
making fake
range
fees
fee?
up.
And some of the I guess tests that they administered where they had the iPhone right next to the restaurant compared to the Android, and the iPhone was still getting charged the range fee. I was like, wait a minute, the phone, according to the phone, it's right next to the restaurant. Why is it getting charged more? And I guess the conclusion is that they think the reason why it's happening is because iPhone people, people who have iPhones get paid more, they make more money. First of all, who thought of that? Who came with that idea? Yeah, like iPhones, because it's a popular phone. I don't know if it's people who have iPhones make more money. I mean, who has? I don't know. Didn't see that study, but it doesn't look good for DoorDash. I'll say that.
No, the U.S. District Court in Maryland, the suit is asking for $1 billion in relief.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah, but yeah, also
Right.
all the DoorDash said it's BS. It doesn't happen. It's not real. It's not real.
They have to say that.
Dude, how
oh,
would they know?
my bad. You caught me.
You can't come out and go, you caught us.
You're good. You're good.
You noticed
good.
that?
Can
We
you
didn't think
imagine?
you iPhone, Android people talked, so we just
Yeah, they assume that they don't.
Can you imagine, like the press person who works for DoorDash, and like if this comes and they're like, "Not again? Are you kidding me? How am I going to spin this a different way?" Like they're running out of options on how to spin it in a positive manner.
How do you
Probably
think
Kanye's
could
publicist.
get away with that for so long?
I don't even.
They
I
got away with
honestly,
it for a
I
while,
think I'd
so.
go out in a blaze of glory if I was the DoorDash press guy. I would just go out there and be like, "Look, guys, you know what's going on. We're stealing from you. I'm clearly fired. This will be my last speech, so let me lay it all on the line."
Like, come on, guys. We're trying to make a profit here. Stop cutting off our arms.
Can't get it from
let's
Android people.
remember that DoorDash, and I'm not kidding, DoorDash was caught twice in 1 year, twice, for stealing on grand scale levels your tips. So they got caught once, went through this whole process of being like these training classes and executive stuff, and that they had to sit through. And this is how you don't steal your driver's tips. You don't be a bad person. You know, they went through all this stuff, and then like 2 months later, they did it again, bigger than the first time. I mean, so like, how much credit are we giving this company? They've already stolen our tips twice.
I would blame it on the training. It was poor training, apparently.
Right. Well, I'm guessing they just keep, you know, even if it starts sounding stupid and isn't relative, they just keep saying it, like independent contractor. Well, but you're charging the customers more, but it's because they're independent contractor drivers. Like, it doesn't make any sense, dude.
That'll be their next thing. It was the drivers charging them, not us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like, you know, these are the reasons that I believe, like, why, again, I'm not looking for a ton of laws and legislation, because I think it just over the years will become so nightmarish. But why is there no oversight? Why is there not somebody who, once they stole the second time, decided, let's have a committee that watches DoorDash real closely?
There should
Can you
be
put up the
probably
last
some type of thing.
comment?
Yeah.
What's
Put
that?
up the last comment. It's actually kind of funny.
So
I mean-
I don't know. The first time I saw that, I don't know why I saw Waffle House press secretary, but
Same. It's always a problem. It's
I
always
mean,
something happening.
I don't know. I'm just like, if I hadn't heard a bunch of bad and I'd never knew about them stealing tips and stuff, I would question this article a little more. I'd be like, and all the ones I've seen, like, really, are they though? Or did you just catch a couple of bad examples, or what's going on here? I'd want to deep dive it more. It's sad that when I see this right away, I know it to be true.
It don't look good. It looks like it's.
It does
happening,
not look good,
so.
because the examples, and this is every year. Like, I can't even tell you how many people and how many publishers actually publish this over the past like 5 days.
Everybody.
And the examples, everybody, but the examples that they show are so crystal clear and cut and dry.
Yeah.
And here's the proof. Like, good luck in court, DoorDash.
So what's the excuse? It was a programming error. Our bad. Yeah, there's something wrong with the code. Damn
I don't
Gary.
even know if they've given
you gotta
like,
you blame the engineer, or you.
Yeah, this damn Gary over here.
I
I
mean-
don't know what he's doing. I don't think he likes iPhone users. He probably-
okay, here's the DoorDash vehemently denied the allegation. So, quote unquote, DoorDash does not charge more based on the type of phone you use, period. The company said in a statement.
Oh, yeah.
Any
That'll do it.
allegations that we deliberately charge iPhone and Android users differently, or charge Dash Pass members or expanded range fee is blatantly false and completely ridiculous. We categorically reject the untrue claims in the lawsuit and look forward to vigorously fighting them.
That is a lot.
They don't even
of
say
really
like
strong
in
language.
vigorously defending ourselves to prove our honor, because they know they got caught stealing tips twice. So they're just like, look, we're vigorously going to fight this.
And the key word, deliberately.
Yeah.
We're not deliberately doing this, so they can get it
That's
out.
the point.
with some other.
We don't
yeah,
know about it because it's the IT department's fault.
Yeah,
or
the
it's this
IT
person's
daffed up.
fault.
I'm
We
sorry,
didn't know about
guys.
it.
Look, from all the talks Gary and I have had, I already know this about him. Like, bottom line, he would just say that all they need to do is claim beta mode. I'm sorry, it's in beta mode. I mean, the computer did it. We didn't do it. So,
Damn AI.
you know, and sorry we stole your tips a bunch. And, you know, we're
Yeah,
working
it's
on
all
that.
AI's fault completely.
See, the playbook is you ask for forgiveness, never permission.
I need to make a commercial that where I'm wearing all DoorDash top to bottom, and just here at DoorDash, we're working on finding a single individual who has a moral compass. We're hoping to find one by the end of this year. If we do, we will make sure they move quickly up the corporate ladder and try and bring us all some peace and harmony. And maybe we can find a way to not steal from you guys anymore and treat you a little better.
Yeah. Well.
Since it's not
Maybe.
brain surgery and we're just bringing you some food, seems like there's enough money to go around. I don't know.
I wonder though if this is so conspiracy theory, but I wonder if they have all these hidden fees, or they're I'll say, taking, for the lack of a better word, money from people. And they do this knowing that even if they get sued, they're like, you have the money. Go ahead, sue us, whatever. And they know about it, but they're still gonna get sued. So they're like, we have the money, it's right here.
I mean,
A
$1
lot of
billion
these companies, they
is
do.
nothing. $1 billion. That's
Well, a
fucking
lot of
crazy.
times it's like the math is okay. If we do this unscrupulous thing, we can make 300 million. How much would it cost if we get sued? 50 million.
Yeah,
do it.
it's just like,
Yeah,
Probably.
but
That's kind of
then again,
right.
but then again, look at 200 million between the whole Flex Association, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, Instacart, all of them to fight AB5 and make Prop 22. All of them, 200 grand. $1 billion in this lawsuit.
Millions, a lot of money.
I mean, that's a lot of money, guys. That's
Well, I mean,
even for these big companies, that's a lot of money.
I mean, going back to the
It is a
math,
lot.
can they settle? Can they settle for 100 million? That's
No.
no. Yeah, I was already. They're not gonna take 100. It got to be something close to it.
Plus, I mean, like, why would, if you are on the opposing side, why would you ever settle with DoorDash? Because you're already going to be able to go into court. It's not sealed. You can go into court and use against them the fact that they've twice stolen from their drivers. I mean, that's how I'd open it up. I'm not a lawyer, but that's how I'd be like, look, guys, I don't even know why we're here. These guys should be in jail.
try to snare them as much as possible.
Like, are we doubting that they did this? Because look, they stole all this money from these poor drivers, and then they did it again. And now they found this, and you're questioning if they did it or if it was
And
just
now
an
they're
error.
stealing money from the customers. So you steal money from the drivers, you steal money from the customers. Like, they're
Again,
stealing from
I'm just shocked there's no committee that's like literally until there's some laws in place that's overseeing this crap. You know,
Well,
like
that's
for all these companies, make a committee for each one. Like, we're watching your data.
That's
Sorry,
why I
but-
am surprised that there is not a committee. Because I mean, there's a committee. I feel like some type of oversight for every other industry, and day's gonna come. Don't know
Yeah,
when.
because if you watch the movie Snowden, like when you're done watching Snowden, if you've never seen it, I mean, it won't be really a spoiler, but when you're done watching, you're like, holy crap, dude! Like, there is nothing they can't fix and figure out. Well, yeah, there is. They can't even figure out the algorithm of Uber and DoorDash and how bad they're ripping people off. So what can the NSA do? Don't shut down my YouTube channel, NSA. I'm sure that you could do that, but it's not worth it. My point is, go after the real criminals over there. Go after DoorDash, Uber, all the big guys. I'm just saying, after watching that kind of movie, I think nobody gets away with anything. And then I keep seeing stuff like this, and I'm like, what, really? Because it seems like everybody gets away with stuff. Unless it's like people like us. People like us, we get in trouble.
Yep.
How dare you steal something? Dude, they're stealing from everybody. And they're ripping off their customers, and they're lying to them, and they're judging your phone. But again, I'll go back to like, John, like, I mean, you have an Android. Like, a new Android is not cheap.
Well, that's why I have a 3-year-old Android.
Right, but I think that they're pretty damn close. I think a brand new
they're
iPhone
probably,
right now.
These phones are the
700.
same. So it is weird that this is happening. But I think it's an idea. Or they have some information. They think that iPhone users either make more money or willing to pay more money. I don't know.
I'm just shocked they didn't think anybody'd talk.
We usually iPhone people don't talk to Android people because we look at their green bubble and we just judge
According
them.
to the article, it got found out because it was a father and their sons, and they were comparing like their
there's
phones,
lots of
and that's how
people who are doing the comparisons.
they figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's my point, is that if you just have an Android person with you, you can figure it out, open it up right. I mean, maybe not now, maybe they've fixed it.
They probably sneaked changed some code around, like they go onto us.
But
I say this with like all of the companies, no matter what it is, like, we have to take at face value that they're honest companies and they're giving us what we think we should get. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we know exactly what the customer's tip is that they put in? The companies filter it to us. Like, we're taking on face value that they're doing the right thing and it's coming to us and that's how we're getting paid. We don't know for sure. We'll never know for sure.
Yeah.
That's why if they were willing to take the risk of the tips, and if they wanted to refund somebody, I would come up with a much tougher policy to get tips reversed. Make it very hard on the customer, but doable, clearly, if there's a reason and whatnot. But I think that it needs to just, again, transparency, just show it up front. You take a screenshot and that's what you're going to get paid. If there's an argument later, that's what the platform.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they claim independent contractor status, but we don't have the right to deal with that customer directly after the job is done anyway. So therefore, they have to have some responsibility level. I mean, they just do. So I feel like it should be like, hey, if you want to allow tip baiting and you're going to allow this person to put in $20 and a $2 base pay and then remove the $20, if you showed me 22, I'm getting paid 22. You do what you want. If you want to refund them $20, go ahead. That's your problem.
Right.
But you got to pay me 22. So I don't know. Because I honestly, I'm not a big, Kim, I know you understand this too, because you worked a lot of years in service industry, but like, to be honest, like it was hard for me to wrap my head around the tipping thing forever. How do you tip up front? You don't know the service, but I now know that in this space, tipping up front needs to happen. And it's just something people got to get used to. You just got to be willing to tip based on wanting the best service you can and what you can afford to tip, and tip correctly, and don't tip bait. And that's what it needs to come down to, because the apps are always, they're never going to give, they don't care. We're just numbers to them, both sides. Drivers are worth less, but even customers are just numbers. They don't care about either side. So it's like they just want the money, and they just don't want to deal with any of the headaches. So in that case, I think that tipping needs to be a thing that's suggested you do up front. I even had an idea, I don't know if it was on here, I said it, but we're like, maybe because when I was in Vegas, you could get the quicker delivery. Maybe there just needs to be a last screen that says our drivers work on tips, and just have a percentage that you run DoorDash's platform on. This is how Dumpling works, and I know it's more independent contractorship, but you just be honest and you just have a straight up number. Here's the in-store, or here's McDonald's pricing, nothing jacked up. And we charge this percentage for processing and service fee. Okay, fair enough. That's what they're going to charge on top of that. And then on the final screen, it says, drivers work based on tips only. And then it says, hey, do you want it in the next hour? Tip $7. Do you want it in the next 40 minutes? Tip $10. Do you want it in the next 20 minutes? Tip $15. And then start moving those out based on tip amounts.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not the only solution out there, but it's one I've come up with that I thought, man, because we pretty much, let's be honest, we do work on tips.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it'll never work with DoorDash's hidden tips. They're gonna, even if you say you're gonna tip your driver, I'm making this up, $20, the driver is still only gonna see $6.75, $7.75. So the driver still won't know that it's the amount that the customer put in. Hence transparency.
Yeah. We could always have Black Wolf app deliver the pizzas and pull their guns out at the door and be like, what'd you tip me? If I get tip baited, I will be back here in 10 minutes. Not kidding.
I know where you live.
There's probably no tip baiting happening at a Black Wolf rideshare.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here, let's John, what do you got going on? I was watching your video today from I think yesterday.
Yeah, well, Walmart Spark videos. Man, I've been in a backlog. I got a lot of stuff I want to put out. So I actually might get back to just doing some live streams, just talking about it, just because there's a lot of fun topics, a lot of stuff to get out. But editing is a process.
But still Spark focus. So you're doing most
Spark focus.
Most of your work is Spark, right?
Yeah, I would say most of my work is Spark. There's some times where I get out there and just, we'll turn on the Uber Eats, but I would say probably easily 80 to 90% Spark, maybe 10 to 20% Uber Eats.
And when are the Waymo rides starting? Because we got to count on John to do one.
I got to get one. So actually, matter of fact, I was pulling this up earlier to see the map and kind of show you. So this is the
Yeah, because I saw that was mentioned, like that it's only somebody had said back there a little bit ago that it's only a certain area. Maybe it was Christopher Taylor. Yeah.
So you can kind of see that, like where that little blue dot is, where I'm outside of their area, and then that big, area that they are. So I got to go out of my way to get to a Waymo area.
So, because
Big one for the
is
team,
it
John.
still what Christopher Taylor's saying here? It's a 1 mile grid.
So the design of Phoenix roads is that it's basically every mile. It's basically Phoenix is on a grid system. So see if I can zoom this in. But like all of our roads, if you can see that there on, you kind of see like it's like a tic-tac-toe grid board. Like everything is just left to right, up and down. And you
Yeah.
can see like the yellow lines, kind of. Let me see if that is the highway, but everything else, everything in Phoenix is basically on a big grid system.
Right.
So that's why they.
But even with Uber, they're not upping the area.
So they do have it, but it's just all centralized. Everywhere that it's not is probably either outside of the central city or pretty much outside of the central city. So right now they have it the Waymo specifically, downtown Phoenix, Scottsdale, Tempe. We're basically around campus, and pretty much downtown Chandler. So they're just the busiest parts of the city. So if I go to downtown Phoenix, I'll use that ride there.
Good luck.
I mean, yeah, dude. Let's see. I want to see one, man. I want to. And if you can videotape it, I couldn't videotape mine. And all these people are videotaping all the cruise ones in San Francisco. So, but those are even driverless. I don't understand what's going on.
Not supposed to tape it, but there's an app for everything.
Yeah, but everybody's taping. I mean, there's no driver in the cruise one, so who cares if it says no videotape? Everybody's videotaping it. So
we gotta find the video and deactivate me.
Yeah. So, but Kim, how about you?
Well, I'll answer the comment. So a video I put out this week, I had an order that was my worst experience I've ever had as a driver since I started in 2018. So you can go check that out. It was a disaster of an order. So I say I don't think I did anything wrong, but anyway, say what you can learn from my own experience if it ever happens to you that is in the same position I was in. Other content is coming out probably at some point, I'll say probably later, earlier next week, maybe over the weekend. I'm still working on it. We have Money Hungry on Wednesday nights, and this Wednesday UDM is joining us as our guest. Please join us on Wednesday. You can see UDM, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm actually really excited about that. I'm trying to think my camera just went out of focus. Trying to think what else. I think that's really it. I just feel like it's like one thing after another, after another, after another. Zach and I are thinking about doing another live together on Tuesday nights. So we just don't know which channel. I think it's going to be on his channel, but we're going to be doing another Tuesday night live together. I think that's
so
it.
it's not quite the rumors that everybody else thought. You guys aren't like hooking up.
Are you kidding me? Married.
I just wanted you to leave it. Are you kidding me? So that Zach heard that and thought, man, I'm not a bad looking guy. But Hannibal, what do you got going on?
Actually, this Memorial Day weekend is going to be really busy with the dog stuff. So I'll be mostly hanging out with the dogs. I have a video coming out, I think tomorrow, about Para, the new positive flagging feature. I think it's pretty cool. Because usually with the flagging is usually something negative, something's terrible happening. But it's good to have a catalog of positive experiences, whether it's a great parking situation or a great merchant. Like you have that kind of catalog there instead of I think a lot of us, the pros, are probably either having the log in their head or they're writing it down. But it's good to have it on an app to know, oh, this spot had a really good parking situation. Maybe I'll take that order compared to the dealing with somewhere that's a terrible situation. So have that video out, and I'll probably be filming a video this weekend for next week. But so just look out for that one. Check out the Power app.
Yeah. And then
Steve knows a little bit about it too. So
yeah, and then of course there's GigCon in August.
yes, so Steve is Steve, you're doing great. Pedro's crazy. He's running 100 miles per hour, getting us all together. There are going to be a lot of surprises for this GigCon. A lot of surprise people showing up. Nothing's public yet, but it's going to be kind of cool. The kind of people we're bringing together and all different panels and all different booths that are going to be there. It's going to be something special. So, keep a lookout. I'm sure Paige will be dropping a lot of details on his channel, and I guess our channel as well, right, Steve?
Yeah, of course, and the day after too. So for those wondering, because I mean it's a 1-day event, but for those wondering, on the day after, it's been in the works, but it's solidified. That I was gonna present it tomorrow night, but I'm gonna put it out there tonight. On Saturday, we're gonna do a 2.5-hour thing in the afternoon where you'll get lunch provided. Hopefully by this is the part we're working on, but I locked down the people that need to be involved. We're gonna have Stephanie Vigil, who was the drafter of the bill here in Colorado. We're going to have some of the members of the rideshare company that is co-op, and we're going to have a member or two of the union. We're going to have Sergio, David, anybody, obviously everybody who's involved. If you want to come, what it is, it's basically a brainstorming kind of town hall, because I hear town halls sometimes, but you can't do virtual town halls. Town halls have to be in person. So it's going to be like a town hall where we're actually like brainstorming with Stephanie on how to approach legislation this next time around. There's going to be a couple other things offered there as well, but I think that this is going to be huge. And I'm encouraging every creator to come to this and live stream it on every channel, because it'll be like that part. It'll be like 90 minutes. There's going to be a little curry thing going on where I have a couple of the curry people coming.
Nice.
And so I invited them, and I invited a couple others, and I'm waiting to hear back. But the only people I invited are companies that provide 100% transparency up front and are honest. So
nice. I was going to leave Saturday, but once you announce your thing, I'll leave Sunday.
Yeah.
One more day away from the family. I know I'm going to be really sad, but I gotta hang out with my boy Steve. I got something together, man.
Yeah, it's Colorado, man. So, but anyway, guys, that's the first weekend in August. I would, I think both days are probably going to be different, and both days are going to be worth checking out. So, second reason to stay if you're coming. So, yeah, and then we have I can't give this away yet, but I can give away part of it. We have a scavenger hunt planned, but with a huge prize for one person at the end. Well, it'll be for two, but for one person at the end of it. So only one person will be able to get it. It'll be scavenger hunt. It'll be all kinds of different options to earn points. And the highest points at the end of Saturday night will win we're deciding how big the prize can be at the moment. Like that's kind of what the big part of it'll be, but it should be a great prize for you and a guest. So like you and your significant other or whatever, but it can only be won by one person.
Do I have to take down a bear or something?
No, everything's going to be fun in the city. It's kind of going to be a way to learn the city. You can choose different ways to earn your points. Like I'll give you an example that we talked about is like, everybody takes a picture or, as many pictures as they want around Denver, but we have a lot of cool stuff, like just to take pictures of that are weird, things that people built around town, or, weird paintings on the side of buildings that aren't like tags. They're actually really done outdoor murals and other things and architecture. Nice. And if everybody could submit only one picture, so if you take 100, you got to look through and pick your best one that you think other people would vote for, and the winner would get like 500 points.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So for that one thing, like what was the coolest picture? But everybody can only submit one. And so it's like you'll earn the points, and then the points will go to. And we were talking about doing a bunch of different prizes, but instead doing one big prize that I think people will really get on board with and love it. I cannot announce it yet, but I don't need to announce it tomorrow, but by next week.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. And I think that this is a great idea for Stephanie too, because she is new to this stuff. She is a gig worker. And whether or not we see eye to eye, this is kind of something about my podcast too. I say it all the time. I have people on I don't see eye to eye with all the time. However, as long as there's no union trickery, and to be honest, I'm really going to be happy. Stephanie's in, she's fully in, she's stoked about it. But I'm going to be interested to have, I'm going to host it, and she's going to be the main draw, but I'm interested to have a couple union members there because I got some questions for them.
Nice.
I mean, in a nice way. I just want to know some answers. I just want to know, and and obviously, Sergio suggested it. I'm there with him, and I'm inviting him, but we're trying to invite the two holdouts too that stomped on the bill. Do I think they'll come? No. So, but we have the Stephanie knows somebody at the Denver Post. So do I. We do have some news media coming. And we'll work on like 9 News and some other things too. So it's going to be a little event, and hopefully people from different areas can bring in things they'd like to see, because the one thing about our bill was it wasn't related to money. It was just related to transparency, being honest, right to a wrongful deactivation and challenge it. So it wasn't like we were too out of our way in what we were asking. So I don't know. I think that it's going to be a good discussion. I think everybody that does make it out to Denver should be involved. Whether you're a creator, a gig worker, whatever. This is something that even if you don't plan on speaking, you should come to. You might find yourself speaking, because it's going to be that kind of environment. Just everybody's going to talk, and in an open setting. So, yeah, that's it, guys. I didn't even do my closing thing right. Damn it. So, that's a wrap. So thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for watching on the replay. And until next week, be safe and earn smart. Use Gary's apps, use Para, and peace, y'all, and good night.